I'm sure you're probably asking, who are you? Why are you up here talking to us? My name is Jacob Etheridge. We are friends in this space, so you can call me Jake. And I am the UX designer for TaxAct Professional. Some things about me: I've been with the team for a little under a year. And the thing I'm most excited and proud of is in that year, I've gotten the incredible opportunity to speak to close to 100 financial professionals, including CPAs, EAs, wealth managers, kind of the whole gamut. And I got to say, first off, what you do is not easy. And so you are all much smarter than me. Just going to get that out of the way. But I'm really, really excited to be here with you. And that what I hope to bring today is to show you some of the things that are new. Some of the things that for me are birthed out of, I have a background in the nonprofit industry, which I believe has helped me really empathize with users and hopefully hear your pain points, know your goals, know your objectives of everything that you want to do. And alongside that, prior to me coming to TaxAct, I worked actually in the vacation rental industry as a UX designer for a startup in Brooklyn, and got the incredible opportunity to basically navigate the very complicated world of the supply side of vacation rentals. So I've gotten some firsthand experience of figuring out just how important workflows are, right, to helping you meet your clients' needs. Next, there we go, it worked. I want to say again, congratulations on a successful season. This was a really long tax season. I had the chance to speak with 3 wonderful financial professionals right before this, Connie, Nora, and Deborah, who are telling me just about how wild this past year is. And I'm sure that's a sentiment that is shared across the board by everyone in this room. And so I just want to say, really, congratulations, pat yourself on the back for getting through this last year. Hopefully this next year will be a little bit easier, maybe, we'll see, as we go about hopefully completing some taxes for people. And what we wanted to do as we look back at this year is really figure out, what did we accomplish? What got done for us this last year before we look ahead? And a quick look back is to see that, we were able to launch a few things. We launched a fast track onboarding that helped set up firms for season success with downloadable checklists and content to make sure that you have everything you need to start the season right. We also launched a partnership with TaxStone to give you some practice management tools that will hopefully enable you to better meet your clients' needs and spend less time in front of the screen, but actually getting taxes done. And we were able to launch some interesting partnerships with the Avantax Wealth Management and really get to see all of the benefits that come into play whenever our users transfer from being TaxAct professionals, but then also getting to be wealth management advisors specifically with Avantax. We also got to see some increased e-file and forms coverage. That's a tool we recognize we always need to have. And bank products, including Republic Bank with pre-act cash advance. And we also supported an optimized client manager this past year and the state prior year comparison reports. All of this were direct benefits of your feedback. And so what I want you to know right now is that at TaxAct, we believe in the power of listening to you. And that's something that is not lost on us. You are the people that are really in the trenches day in and day out. And so what we wanted to do was really listen to what you had to say. Some of the things we heard was that you want us to continue to provide a great product at a market best price. And so that is always our goal at TaxAct, is to provide an incredibly competitive value for you of what you pay to use the product and what you get out of it in efficiencies and workflows. We also want to be able to add relevant features for the tax practice of today and the future. That's something we really heard this last year, was that we need to be future thinking with our product, not just here and now. The last few years really showed us how quickly things can shift, so we need to be future minded. And of course, we need to care about you and your business by upping our support. And so we always want our support to meet your needs where they are. With that said, I want to dig in and explain to you some of what's new for tax year 21. As you can see on this slide, we've got a lot we're going to run through. To give you a lay of the land, I'm going to talk through some of these things relatively quickly. We are going to have a dedicated time later for bank product offerings. So I see that you see that here on the screen. You may get pretty excited We are going to have a dedicated time to really go in depth for that later on. So if you have any questions specifically to bank products that come up as we roll through these next few slides, I encourage you write them down, and then you're going to want to be able to ask those later. But let's dig in and let's dive in. Off the top, part of our dedication to increasing your efficiency and capacity as tax professionals is making sure that you have the best tools at your disposal. And one of the best tools that you can have that makes you a truly competitive financial professional is having forms and e-file coverage. And so we recognize that we need to continue to expand that. And so heading into TY21, we have over 60 new forms and e-file coverage. This is a multi-year journey that we're committed to make sure that you don't feel that you are lacking whenever you use our product and you are needing to meet your clients' needs with various number of forms that you may not think, oh, I've never used this form before. No problem, TaxAct Professional has it for you. Some of those forms is the Form 4852, a substitute form for the W-2, the Form 8857, a request for innocent spouse relief, multiple copies of Form 5471, the information return of U.S. persons with respect to certain foreign corporations, and the city tax return for Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, and Kansas City, my father-in-law's favorite city in the world. I think it's just because he likes Patrick Mahomes. And then on top of this, we do have 60 plus new forms and calculations, and we're going to continue to increase the amount of state forms, returns, estimated payments, extensions, et cetera, that can be e-filed with the various state agencies. With these forms and e-file coverage, you will now be able to save time in ways you hadn't prior. And speaking of efficiencies and saving time, as I talked about being future thinking, we had the incredible opportunity to partner with TaxAct this last year. And it really offers some interesting features that are really related to practice management. That was something that just really came to the forefront as I got to the chance to speak to financial professionals this last year, was just how important day in and day out you may not realize that practice management features really affect your workflows. And so getting to partner with TaxAct, we get some really great features, including e-signatures, KBAs, document storage, CRMs, the client portal, workflow automations, and then of course, secure payment. But as we were speaking to users about TaxAct this last year, something we really heard was, hey, we love TaxAct, it's incredible. It just may be a little bit too much for me right now in this moment, but I still need some of those core features. Well, that led to some really interesting ideation discussion among our team, and I'm really excited to say that we were able to partner with TaxAct and offer something we call TaxAct Lite. TaxAct Lite is going to give you 3 core features that we determined were relevant based on feedback from our users that said, hey, if you had these 3 things, this is what I need. And we can offer the TaxAct Lite partnership at half the cost of the normal TaxAct feature suite. In this, you're going to get unlimited e-signatures. You're going to be able to save time and let clients sign those documents from their phone or their computer using the technology that TaxAct does provide. You're going to have document management, so you don't have to worry about bursting at the seams with that file storage. And you're going to have a dedicated client portal and mobile app, which is really exciting, that you'll be able to check specific things on the go related to your clients. Related to your clients and things that benefit them and you is the expansion of bank products. Bank products are incredibly important to our users, something we actually found through speaking to users. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm obsessed with speaking to financial professionals. This last year, I've gotten the opportunity to speak to almost 100 of them, and it's so fascinating getting to hear all of their varied responses. But one of the things that was really consistent was how there were a number of financial professionals that almost pick their product for filing taxes, managing wealth, et cetera, based on the banks that are offered with those products. And so we wanted to be able to really expand and keep that in mind, because it does benefit you in a number of ways with refund transfers, cash refund advances, and then of course, software purchase assistance. A really great quote from one of our users, and you will never attend a presentation with me where you don't hear a direct quote from a user, because I do believe in the power of story and the power of getting to hear real words from real people, not just data on a chart, right? Is Felicia. She is one of our users in Texas. The best state ever. That's where I'm from. I'm kidding. This is my first time in California, and I do love it so far. It's been pretty incredible, even if it has been foggy. But Felicia said, after starting the bank refund transfers and advances, my practice grew from 40 clients the first year to 150 clients the next season, all because of the ease of use of TaxAct professional product and offering my clients bank products the opportunity of not having to come up with the money to get their taxes done. And if bank products are important, that obviously means we need to expand those bank products. We need to continue to stay competitive with some of the other offerings that are on that market. And so I'm really pleased to announce our team really banded together, and we made it a huge effort this last year to welcome Santa Barbara Tax Products, otherwise known as TPG, into the fold of the bank products that we get to offer. And so it's going to be an incredible partnership. We're really excited for it. I will get to demonstrate for you later on in the demo exactly how you can enroll for application for that product. And along with that, the importance of bank products is the importance of training. If you have not had the chance to go to our website and take a glance at the new training page, I really invite you to check it out. It's going to be really, really informative. And some of what we're doing today, we want to continue to do into the future. We want to offer live product webinars. We want to offer on-demand training for you and anyone that may be in your practice that you think it would benefit them. And we really, really want to offer unlimited support so we can be available for you when you need us, right? Because often when you need help is not convenient for you. And so we don't want you to have to worry about if it's a convenient time for us. We want to be able to aid and serve you when we can. And of course, tied into that support is we want to have support improvements. We know how important support is during the season, especially. So we want to look for ways to get you the help you need or alert you when something arises. This season, you're going to be able to opt into text messages alerts that will allow you to get notifications of any product outages or key software updates at the time they are happening. So you hopefully will not get to your computer and have that surprise, oh no, I need to update my computer, but I'm really crunched for time, right? We want to be able to kind of get ahead and let you know so that you have proper expectations whenever you actually load up the product. We also want to have more representatives for those resources to be available for you to call in and receive aid when you need it. And along with that, we want to hopefully extend those hours. As I said, it's not always convenient for you, so we want to make sure that when you call, you're able to get through to someone. I recently had the incredible opportunity to talk to support for American Airlines. That was sarcasm. It was not incredible. And it really, really highlighted to me the importance of support. And just, how when you're already in a volatile state where you're like, man, I just don't know what is happening with this specifically, that you want a helping hand. And so we understand that, and we want to offer that as we move forward this next year. With that said, what I would like to do now is I would actually like to get to show you some of the new product features that we have in mind for this year. And so what I'm going to do to kick things off is I'm actually going to jump into the bank enrollment page. And so everything you see here today, what I'm really excited about, and I want you to hear this from me, is I've gotten to have my hands directly on from a design perspective. And they are all based specifically on data points that we've gotten from specific users. We're not talking about people who don't use the product or don't understand the product or don't understand your world. These are all changes reflected not based on my own or my team's biases, but these are related hopefully in the service of you. So first off, what I would love to do is show you the practice manager. This is accessible through the website and how easy it is to truly sign up for the different bank products that we offer. So you'll notice here, I've got my practice manager and I have these various titles for different things that I would like to do related to my practice. And you'll notice here by the kind of piggy bank icon, there's a tile that says bank enrollment. And you may be wondering what happens when you go there. Well, you are given the opportunity to enroll with two of our bank products, either Republic Bank or Santa Barbara TPG. And if you also have questions about how you would like to learn more about either of those, we do have external links that link to their websites that allow you to know a little bit more about those different bank products before you make a decision. We want to really weaponize education for you so that you have the ability to make an educated decision and that you can feel confident with the bank product that you enroll with. Specifically with Santa Barbara TPG, I'm gonna hit the enroll button here. Whenever you as a user would be interested in enrolling possibly into the Santa Barbara TPG product, you're gonna be taken to this screen. And what I'm really happy about is we really put our heads together as a team to make sure, I don't know if you're like me, but I personally cannot stand whenever I go to fill out a form and then I find out at the very end that half of everything I filled out was optional. It's just such a time suck, right? You don't have that time. We don't have that time. So we did our absolute best to make sure that there were the least amount of optional things that were on this enrollment form. And we want to make them abundantly clear that they are optional whenever they do appear. And so you will have the opportunity to see that this is for tax year 2021. You would go through here and you would be able to actually put in the various information that is needed for you to apply. And if you see something that you maybe do not understand, we do have helpful tooltips that can hopefully explain those things so that you don't feel like you have to jump on the phone with someone that you think should be a pretty simple answer, or maybe something that is Googleable, which is a word apparently. I actually looked it up. Something that is Googleable, but maybe be confusing whenever you actually see those results on Google. We want to, again, be able to help educate you as you go along this process. And then you will see down here as you finish through here, you do reach the optional section, and you will be able to read and accept the various different things that are related to this project and submit it through your way. We had users flow through this process and they were able to complete this application in under 90 seconds. And that's something that we're really, really proud of. We try to keep the minimal amount of information needed in order for you to get an application in. Because again, time is money, right? And nobody likes wasting money. And so we wanted to keep that in mind with everything we did. Now, jumping into the product itself, you may recognize here, this is the client dashboard. As I go through this demo today, I do want to give you kind of an asterisk. Something to keep in mind is due to us presenting it on this screen, I have purposefully gone down in resolution, so things will look maybe a little bit bigger or blockier than they do on your own software. That was just simply a conscious decision for the sake of being able to easily view things on this screen. Wanted to give that preamble. But let's say that we wanted to be able to jump into a return. I've got a couple here. I've got John Jackson, but it is December now officially. So let's jump into Santa Claus's return. So we're going to jump into Santa Claus's return here. And this is a imported return from the previous year. And as I jump in here, you may immediately notice some differences. What I want to do is I want to walk through here and show you some of these differences and explain to you the thought process behind them, because these weren't just us throwing darts, right? And then going, change the color to this, there were conscious decisions made for this. What I would like to do is start specifically with the left rail. When I first arrived here at TaxAct and I spoke to financial professionals, one of the things that we really, really identified was an issue of cognitive load whenever operating the product. And what that means is that there was maybe possibly just a bit too much happening on the screen all at once, and that there needed to be an easier way for you to mentally filter out what is relevant to you and what is not, right? And then also the ability to physically, right, interact with the product and filter out what is relevant to you and what is not, okay? So what we came up with was the idea of this redesigned left rail. This is something that went through many rounds of testing. So I want you to know with any changes we make, we are not just flippantly making changes. I'm talking that whenever I would even add something like a chevron into a header to indicate that something was collapsible, I would immediately be like, okay, I've got to get 5 users on the line and I need to show them this to make sure that this is actually communicating what it needs to, because that's how much it matters to us. But with this left rail, you may notice this section here that's called the client's return. This is actually something that we had hidden in our last year's software that was a really big hit with our users. It was called like My Client or Client's Info. And this is essentially every form that is currently active in this return that is part of the data of this return, whether you have selected it, right, or that it needs to automatically be added in order for all of the calculations to be accurate. And you may be looking at this and be asking, okay, but where is everything else? right? Where's all the things I had last year? Well, I'm happy to say if you simply click client's return, you actually have everything here that you had last year. What we wanted to do was make it a little bit easier for you to scannability-wise see it. So we decided to actually change our font scale and make it a bit more legible and readable. And we actually made them collapsible menus. So as you can see here, you can actually collapse these. And specifically with documents received, we moved documents received up a bit in our forms tree because we received overwhelming feedback from users that was their almost exclusively used folder. So they said, I want to be able to access documents received, and I want to be able to see the things that I've selected, right? And so the goal here with this left rail and this new design is efficiency. This should hopefully ease the cognitive load in your mind. You can spend less time hunting around in that left rail, and you can actually collapse and open menus as you see fit. And you can even find yourself scrolling with this sticky header to know exactly where you are at all times. Because again, life is not convenient. Maybe you're in the middle of doing something and then you hear your baby cry in the other room. And then you come back and you want to be able to be like, wait, what section was I in? Oh, I'm in the client's return section. You don't have to deal with that question being an issue. And tied to the issue of efficiency, we wanted to make it abundantly clear when multi-copy forms were being used in the left rail. That was something we heard from users, was that it wasn't always clear if I had multiple copies of like a W-2, right? I have a W-2, maybe it's a couple that's filing jointly and I've got several W-2s open there. Well, something that we came up with was the idea of having a collapsible chevron menu within the left rail. So as you can see here, I can actually open up that there are 2 blank W-2s on this return. And I am able to see, okay, if I hover, this is the toy giver's W-2. The reason why we wanted to have some of that information be present whenever you hover was because we wanted you, again, to be able to know at a glance with the 2 here, okay, I've got this many W-2s. And then if I decide that I want to know more about these forms, I can simply bring my cursor over, hover, and see exactly who it's for. We see we've got a W-2 for toy givers. That makes sense for Santa Claus. And we also have a W-2 for Naughty List LLC. Hopefully none of you are on that list. And something that we really wanted to be able to do is when you want to open a W-2, we heard this over and over again last year from users was, why do I have to double click? Why do I have to, and it's almost to the point that I heard people say that they were double clicking in other programs because they were so used to double clicking in TaxAct Pro. Well, I'm happy to say that we've added single click functionality to these various things. Yes, thank you. I know it's single click, but it's exciting. And so you can single click and you will actually be able to open that form directly. And that's not just true with forms that you've already selected, but let's say I wanted to actually open up a different form. Let's say I want to open up Schedule C. As you can also see here, our tax devs have worked tirelessly to try and get the minimal amount of information in this left rail that is still usable for you. So you're not feeling overwhelmed by seeing this long form description, but that you are still able to see enough information to know, okay, that's the Schedule C and this is what it does. And by hovering over those things, you actually get an expanded description of it. And so if we actually hit the Schedule C, it will open the Schedule C in that single click. So that is now here in the forms and schedules. But if we go back up to our client's return, it is also here. As you can see, we have these different sections, even related to the forms that you have selected in the client's return. So you can know, okay, all my forms and schedules, they're going to try and hang out over here. All my documents received specific things, they're going to hang out over here. My information worksheets, they're going to be up here at the top, etc. Adding that ability of information architecture within that left rail is something that mattered so much to our team this last year. And the great news is, if you would like to add a new multi-copy form, say a new W-2 we've got going on, you can simply see this Add New button that's right here above the other various forms you have. And if you click Add New, it adds a new W-2. So you no longer have to worry about all the double click information that you go through. Also, you may be looking at this left rail and be curious, hey, what are these red alerts over here? Well, those are our new real-time alerts. So within the left rail, you will actually be able to now see whenever there are items flagged within specific forms or documents that you need to review. And so if we actually click this for, it's going to take me to the basic information page, and it immediately took me to this first area of real-time alerts that I need to pay attention to. And so now the thought process with this is that when you go through and you review these items at the end, we're hoping to aid you and assist you, that you're not having to remember, wait, okay, I need to mark this form because I need to go back and fix this. The program's going to take care of that for you. You've got enough to worry about, right? And so we want to help you in that regard. Along with that, that's a great segue into our new data entry. You may have noticed that we actually now have different shading available for different parts of data entry on the actual form. That was a conscious decision. We had several users last year actually say they would be confused at times at what was enterable and what wasn't, because it was simply a white background. So to help aid that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it is kind of my motto. We actually followed what the IRS specifically does, and they use this blue shading for these different forms. So where you can enter information is where that blue shading is, and the program will help you detect whenever something is entered incorrectly, and it will get flagged for that real-time alert. And if you have a new person in your practice maybe that you're trying to help educate, specifically, hey, this is maybe why something would get flagged, we offer these real-time alert info boxes that when you hover, it actually tells you specifically what is wrong with this area, right? And if we actually change things, let's see if I can get there. Since I corrected that because it was the wrong state, because Cedar Rapids is a city in Iowa, and I was able to move forward, now it is blue and it is removed from the real-time alerts. So you are able to directly interact with these alerts, fix them in real time, and be able to make sure that they don't pop up later when you do your review. Two final things for the what's new that I want to highlight specifically with this form is we wanted to make sure that we had specific links to forms that were really easy to acknowledge and see on the form. So for instance, this bank account worksheet, where prior it would maybe be the kind of folder icon that you may be used to, that you see before, we actually have it say enter bank accounts on the bank account worksheet directly on this form. And when you click it, you're taken right to that bank account worksheet. You're no longer having to hunt around. It's going to take you directly to where you need to go. And you may have noticed these fancy little tabs up at the top. These are new, related to navigation and information architecture for our product, is these form tabs. We were inspired by browser windows and the way that they use tabs to make sure that you always know where you are in a sense of orientation. So you can actually click around these different tabs to jump between different forms at any time. And you may be asking yourself, well, if I hit this X though, what happens? We wanted to make it abundantly clear that just like you would find in a normal browser window, if you hit that X, it is going to close that form, but that form is not deleted. We will never delete a form on your behalf without you choosing through double authentication that you do want that form deleted. As you can see over here in my client's return, that form is still active in this return. But I can choose to close that form up here if I want to save space. And whenever you actually build up a number of tabs up here at the top, we really wrestled with, right? Because we follow the Google kind of Chrome tab functionality of, okay, well, should our tabs shrink, right? Or should they stay where they are? I'm happy to say that we realize if those tabs shrink, they're really not usable for you. You're not going to be able to glance at those things and know what's there. So what actually happens is when you've hit 9 tabs here and it has filled up the space, you will be greeted with a section here that allows you to click it and see all of the open tabs you do have. And you have the ability to close those tabs directly from there. Finally, what I would like to show you with this left rail is that if there is a form, raise your hand if you've been in this situation where you've got a specific form or document you need to find and you have no clue where it is. And you're like, wait, where is this? I'm happy to say that with the search forms functionality, we really try to revamp it and make it as usable as possible. And so if you type something in here, like Schedule C, it's going to update in real time and show you not just the form you're looking for, but also where it's located, so that you can know for future sake, okay, I know where this is. I maybe don't have to use search next time if I don't want to.